With me, there are many. They call themselves Starseeds. And we came from outer space to support the current ascension on Earth. Now, this video is for those that already know they are Starseeds. And what does that actually entail? Let's begin. I like to open... Oh, the energy immediately streams in. I like to open, give me a moment. I like to open a portal of loving light and source energy, high frequency, just to assure that the field that we're working in is safe and is of high consciousness. Wow, there's so much already coming in. So the intention for today, as always, is to have something coming through that serves us Starseeds for what we need in this moment in time, for whatever moment you're watching this, obviously. My energy is rising. I need to higher my vibration, which I already did before, but apparently for this it needs to be much higher. All right. Because I think where we're going to connect with is the Arcturians of the ninth dimension. Yes, my beloved friends, family, I think we can call it. Ooh, that makes me emotional. Yes, I feel most connected with the Arcturians, the ninth dimension. They are always with me, it feels. I don't see them as such, but whenever I tap into them, I feel immediately here also this something in my throat feels emotional, like this is home. This is home, and I'm here on this planet. Let me not cry. I'm here on this planet together with all of you, not alone. It doesn't feel alone, but if you connect with home, with your family, right, your galactic family, it feels far out. It feels far. It's far. It's away. Okay, so that's what this video is about. All right, good. So I think there's many of you. That's why this is coming up. There's many of you that have that feeling of, once you start connecting, once you realize you're freaking Starseed, maybe for you it was like, wow. Well, for me it wasn't, and I hear for others, it is quite a thing. In the beginning it's like, oh, exciting. But what does it actually mean to be a Starseed? Well, I took, let me dry those tears. It took me like half a year to get... or maybe even longer. Someone told me something I ignored. Then I was doing quantum jumping week and I was going off planet all the time. People told me I was a starseed. I'm like, what does that even mean? And I was scattered. I came home. I was all over the place. I had no idea who I was. Literally, I felt scattered. It's like, am I this? Not even consciously thinking, am I this human or am I that? I couldn't even go there. As a human, I wanted to feel one, feel in one piece, feel this is me, this is how I know me, this is where my body begins and ends, and this is how I feel and think and do things in life, right? And all of a sudden it felt like it was scattered. I had no clue who I was. And one of the ways, well, I felt I felt all over the place. And another beautiful evidence of that was every morning I have made a ritual where I move and greet the sun and align myself. And it starts with this movement. And from there, let me not explain the whole exercise, but it starts here. And for weeks, I couldn't do this. Because whenever I tried, it would go literally pushing everywhere. You think, just put your hands like this. Or if I just put my hands like this, there was no problem. But when, for me, that exercise was like connecting to my inner core. And that was my alignment. And when I did that, it was moving everywhere. In other words, I not only felt scattered, But my alignment with who I was scattered in all those, all the me's, the identities, the other lives I had. I was so connected all of a sudden with all of them. I didn't know anymore who I was. That is not a good place to be in, right? You want to be grounded, you want to feel who you are, and from there connect with. It happened. It's not something I take people through. By the way, I don't do quantum jumping for that specific reason. Especially not a whole week, jump after jump after jump. It was so exciting to do that at the moment, but it was not good. I think I was only one of the few, no, I think I was the only one who had such a profound experience not knowing who I was. But okay, let me come back to the reason why I need to tell you this is the fact when you hear that you're a starseed, you can be a bit all over the place, right? You cannot know who you are anymore. What does that mean for my human experience if I am coming from the stars? I'm perhaps, you feel that, that someone told you. One thing is, though, in my perception, people can tell you many things, people can channel many things, but it's important that you feel what is true for you. That you feel, yeah, for me that makes sense. I can resonate with that. Because someone telling you, you say, okay, somebody told me now I am a starseed, now what? I don't know. Is that working for you? I personally really feel, because someone told me also half a year before the quantum jumping, it didn't resonate with me, and I pushed it aside simply because I couldn't fit that in my image of what I was and my worldview of people coming from outside to the planet. I couldn't comprehend that, and I didn't want that. And that is fine until I was ready for that. So feel for yourself where you're ready for what you want to take in and what not, and that's really fine. You go with exploring what is a starseed once you're ready for that. It's kind of a shift. And still, in the years after, more and more of that sank in. I mean, the concept. And if you know that you're a starseed for longer and you're with this concept for longer, you're like, yeah, so. But if you start with finding out you're starseed, and you start to find out that you actually came from a planet, you were with the Arcturians, you were with the Palladians, the Syrians, the Orions, is that called, right? Or whatever you're from. You're from everywhere, but wherever you're most connected to, whatever feels more like your family. I think often it's the last planet maybe, or the place, and I might be wrong about this. I think it's often with the place or the being that we were that decided to come to Earth that we are most connected with. So for me as an Arcturian, I heard the call for Earth and decided, yes, I want to come here. I want to be part of this. Yay! That was my thought then. I connect with that. And I have been on many other places, but that's where I connect most with. So maybe you know that, right? Okay, maybe you connect with that. But then the realization, I was a freaking alien. I am a freaking alien. Nothing freaky about it, but just let that sink in. I am an alien. What? My life, my soul. I once read or heard on Gaia, there's 3 types of souls. I mean, I don't know. One is an earthbound soul, people that have many, many lives on Earth. The other is an interplanetary soul, people that have most of their lives outside of Earth, planetary, in different planets or between whatever. And the third one is an angelic soul, people that come from the angelic realms. There are many that are here. So I am, and starseeds, you can say everything is starseeds, angelic and interplanetary. I'm fine with that, whatever. It's just names, right? It's just names. It's off-planet people, beings. energies, consciousness. Okay, then I have most of my lives. Okay, then, so most of my lives and yours, because otherwise you weren't listening to this, as a starseed or an angelic being, most of your lives have been off planet. So you have been an extraterrestrial. Am I saying that right? You have been an alien. You have been an angelic being. You might have been a dragon, a grey, not so likely, an Andromedan, a Syrian. You haven't been an alien, or you are when we talk about, there's no past or future, everything is happening now. So you have all those lives at this moment. Most of them as a starseed. If you're so much into this, you're like, where is he talking about? Yeah, sure. I'm just wanting for those that are just grasping this concept. Because for me, sometimes people ask what you do, and especially if they're a bit spiritual, I can say I'm talking with aliens, and I hear myself say it, and I think, fuck, is that what I do? And still there's part of me like, what? Because really realizing I'm actually an extraterrestrial being. Because that's where most of my lives are. Having this human experience, chose to be here at this amazing ascension time on Earth. And that sinks in layers and layers deeper, right? And the more you connect to that, that's already so much in itself. And the more you connect to that, and what I had the more I connect to that, it's like, but wait a moment. As an alien, I am high frequency, I fifth dimensional or beyond. I can communicate telepathically. I'm healing, or I wasn't so much into healing. I think more technical support. Anyway, it's another story. And maybe also some, no, not. I'm getting most of it was not into healing. Okay. So if I'm all that is part of my soul imprint. How come I'm just being simply a human here, right? Same for you. You have all those abilities and many more. Whatever, there's so many abilities. I don't even know what they all are. And that's the thing with me. I'm not so invested in what's out there because I feel that's what I've done mostly. I'm invested in human life because I'm only here for the 7th time. And I don't know if I will ever come back. I'm invested in a sense. I'm mostly interested about how as a starseed can we best function on Earth. That is my fascination. That's where I focus on mostly. And others might really want to know everything about all the different races. And that's why I'm not really well educated in it. Because it's not where my interest is. My interest is to support starseeds that have these enormous abilities. And not because of the abilities, but the enormous high frequency. They have all these things that will help this planet in this moment in time so much, hugely. So I got them fascinated with, okay, we have all that as a starseed. And then we do our simple human life, and yours might not be simple. I'm just generally speaking, compared to what we were there, what we do here. It's pretty simple, right? We went back to the village somewhere in the countryside in comparison, like we're coming from the big city, we're coming from the stars, and then we go to the countryside and live a simple life, just as a comparison analogy. And that is okay. But now this ascension is happening, I am curious to how can we tap more into what we truly are? Let me put it differently. Yeah, so that is how to tap more into what we truly are, and not for the sake of I want to harvest all those skills so I can use them here, eventually perhaps. What I'm most invested in and spend my time with and support people with is how can you make this human life you have here the most aligned with your soul, with your higher self, however you call that, that knows about all these lives. How can you be most aligned with that? So you are your multidimensional being with all these dimensions that you have in you and more, because you're not here to connect with all that you already are. The reason why you're here, one of the many reasons, I guess, is to expand into something that you not yet are. Yes. So that is what I think the focus should be on. Anyway, what my focus is on, you do whatever you want, right? How can we expand here as much as possible and have the best life on earth now that we are here? Make the most of it. And not by getting drunk and do all drugs, and you're not that type, I know, and celebrate whatever. No. Do whenever if you want to do that, right? But I don't think that is what that means. It's more, how do we get the most out of this? That's not even the right wording, right? To get most out of this life, but in a way, yes. How can we have the best life on earth, the most beautiful, loving relationship, right? The abundance, wealth, why not, right? And do the things that we truly love to do, in every moment in time. And that sounds so easy, and yet we find that so difficult to do, including myself. I'm living a very guided and aligned life. But to do every moment what I love most, I do what feels aligned. But loving most, I do what I love. Oh, let me clarify that. But I could have much more fun. That's maybe what I want to say. I could have had much more fun. That's why I actually moving. I went 1.5 years ago. I moved to the south of France, and I'm living in a freaking small village in the middle of nowhere. And I'm ready to go back to the city and back to Amsterdam, where I left 24 years ago. I'm living all over the world, and now feel like that is where I want to go. I love the analogy that I had before, coming from a countryside, going back to the city. I have the feeling, and where I've lived for many years in Amsterdam, bringing it there, right? Doing it there. And perhaps that's where the connection, that's where my multidimensionality is going to expand even more. Who knows? Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you. How can you really expand this lifetime, have the best life on this planet, right? Shouldn't the focus be there instead of, and I'm not criticizing you at all, but one way about it is that Starseeds do is connecting so much with the stars and their families there, and which is amazing. I love it. But you're here. You're on this planet where you want to make the best life you ever have. Agree? You're here to support, but you can better support from a place that you feel abundant and light, and you're this beacon of light, vibrating the light because you embody the love that you are. That's where you shine, right? That's where you support. That's what you support, that whole ascension here. That's when you're on purpose. So what was I saying about it? So, yes, so that's what I'm invested in. That's what I love supporting you with. It's interesting. Before, I need to say something. Before I started this video, I asked, what is it? What can I do with this channel that can support Starseeds in the best way possible to what they need right now and reach more Starseeds? And I really tuned into that. Didn't really get an answer, but I thought, okay, I've tuned into that enough. Let me now just start recording and see where we get with that, right? And I find it very interesting what comes through in this video. And I don't know how, but I think this is the new direction. Somehow we will see how that will develop. There's no plan. There's never a plan. So it can just flow where it needs to flow. Let us take a nice deep breath. You beautiful starseed. Just take that in. You alien. That's not a swear word. It sounds almost like it, right? You beautiful alien having this human experience. Gosh, let us feel into that for a moment. You being that beautiful extraterrestrial or angelic being or whatever you are having this human experience. Just one of the many, many experiences you have. And can you imagine how your family, how your those that are following you on earth are rooting for you, how they're here with you at all times? I'm 200, 300, 500% sure they are. They are. They're rooting for you. They're connected with you. If you know it or not, they are. They're looking out for you. They're supporting you always. You're not alone. You're this beautiful, beautiful outer planets being that chose to be here in this time on Earth. And let's have a ball. Is that the right terminology? Let's have a great time. Let's make it just amazing time here on Earth. And I know some of you are suffering. There's no need to suffer, really. There's no need to suffer. I want to talk, that's the next video coming up, talking about how to move away from suffering. There's so much suffering. There's no need to suffer. That's the next video. That's good. All right. Let's come back. No channeling today, although some of it was very much leaded to what was coming through here today. It was beautiful to connect with you. Much, much, much love. And we see each other next time. Bye-bye.